Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on behalf of your Denver-based podcast crew, we appreciate you joining us for the Friendly Vibes.
Coming to you live from TSS Hilltop. Man, oh man, a returning guest that I am so darned excited to share another smoked chicken meal with. Back from the East Coast, back from raising over $11,000 for trans LGBTQ plus charities. My goodness, it's Ren, one of the all-time.
Hi, buddy.
New digs. I know we're not all,
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. No, in like right in the news space. Oh my gosh, I'm like the walls are barren to symbolize the passage of time, like,
and the current stripping and freedoms of rights from Americans.
That's right. We love a theme. Thank you so much for having me on the pod again. I'm so happy to be here.
It's a pleasure. Please tell me about this. Thousands of miles you've driven. Where do you want to start? In a gas station? Bring me along the way.
Okay, well, I do have a fun place to start, which is the last time I was here, we talked about how Cracker Barrels have been strategically placed around the United States.
That's how we got Maggie, yes.
Right, and that is how you got Maggie. And also that where are they getting these like knickknacks from, right? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the first ever Cracker Barrel, which is in Lebanon, Tennessee, right outside Nashville, and I'm gonna go to the first one, and let me tell you, it is exactly like every other one that exists, which is kind of weird, and it's like because Cracker Barrel is like a maximalist liminal space. So I went to Cracker Barrel, went to the first ever Cracker Barrel, and I was like going to walk in there, and I was looking for the most Cracker Barrel gift that I could possibly get you.
Boy.
I wanted to get the most Cracker Barrel of Cracker Barrel, and then I saw this, and even though it is probably not the most Cracker Barrel thing I could have gotten you, it just felt right because I was in Tennessee. So I got you a tiny Dolly made in the USA at the Dolly Parton Knick-Knack Factory.
Wow.
In the Cracker Barrel in Tennessee.
You can cook on this, folks.
You can cook on it.
You can make pancakes and they'd come out with Dolly's name on it.
That's right. And a little butterfly.
Wow. Thank you. That is such a nice gift. We're definitely going to have a
cute.
breakfast episode and try to cook on it just for fun.
I know. I'm like, well, if it's purely decorative, then it can live in the studio. And if it's actually functional, then cool.
My goodness. What a gift giver. Thank you, Ren. That's so kind.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it.
So yeah, tour's been cool.
So Tennessee
was great. I love Tennessee, man. And like, I was a little, because Tennessee was one of the more kind of illegal states for us, if you will, right? And
meaning they no likey.
They don't like the
gay trans.
They don't like the trans. No, but we had a great time. We had a drag performer on the show. We were at a gay bar called Drew's Place, and it was owned by this amazing lady named Tammy. Let me tell you about Tammy. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this lady named Tammy in Memphis, Tennessee. She like hit me up. She booked us really easy, like super just down to earth, like, because they're like, oh, we're just like a mom and pop shop or a mom and mom shop, but like it was really precious. And then like about 3 days before the show, she sends me an email and she was like, can I, like, what's your favorite thing to drink? We're making a special drink menu for the show. And I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'm a whiskey drinker. Hot take. I love Fireball. It's true. It's like trash, but I love it. And she was like, oh, like we can work with that here. Like we're in Tennessee. Like we can totally work with that. And it was so cute. And she like made an entire little menu. And it was like a $2 shot of Fireball with every purchase. Oh. And she like made the drinks and named them after my jokes. Like she like watched some of my stuff online and like made them like punchlines of the jokes. I was just like, oh my god, and like
you do not get that kind of thoughtfulness on the coast. There's no way.
No, I was like, where, like, who even, and like was so sweet. Ran sound for the show, watched the whole thing, loved it. Like was just giggling around the whole thing. Such a sweetheart. And we just like hung out afterwards, and we just like hung out and did some karaoke and like smoked and drank, and it was beautiful. It was just like so cool to be like a little nervous about a spot and then have them be like so lovely and welcoming, and everybody was just vibing, and we had a great show, and like
it feels like a home away from home when you're there.
100%. I was like, Tennessee, like both Tennessee and Kentucky, which ironically are contentious with one another. Like everyone from Kentucky is like, are you from Tennessee? Because all them Tennesseans are trash. And then if you're in Tennessee, they're just like, where are you from? And I'm like, West Virginia. And they're just like, well, at least you ain't from that trash ass state, Kentucky. And I was like, I don't know what the beef is with y'all, but they both seem.
Did you figure it out?
They don't seem to have
There's
an answer.
They don't even know.
They don't really know.
They're past that point of giving a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like why everyone says Kleenex instead of tissue.
Yeah, it's like built in.
Point of no return.
Cotton swab, Q-tip, Kentuckians.
There it is.
Terrible. You know, now I love both those places.
Brand association gone too terribly wrong.
Yeah. But like for the other one, so funny. But yeah, both those spots were amazing. Those were some of my most fun shows because we did a good amount of shows kind of up on the north side of the coast. Which were still really fun, right? Like still had a great time, but like it was so nice, like getting to kind of come back down a little bit after those shows and be like, oh man, like that's definitely my kind of room.
Beautiful too.
Oh my god, yes.
Because everybody said I haven't gotten the chance to get there, but it seems like one of those places where there's so many hidden gems.
Smoky Mountain Majesty, absolutely, and like good food, good. It's one of the best coffee shops that I got to like go to. It was so cool. It was like the walls were basically like aquariums and like used books and stuff, and it was just really neat. It was so there was just a bunch of really fun stuff in Tennessee, and Kentucky also so like underrated, so beautiful. People are so lovely there. We had an amazing show. It was so cool. Kentucky was one of the few shows that like we had like every single performer come off stage and be like, oh my god, I like lost track of time. I was having such a good time. I didn't even get through half of my jokes. Like I was laughing. So like that was like the best set I've ever had. Like every single person that went up and was just like, this is the best audience that has like I've ever had.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So love you, Louisville.
And you got Jeff there filming it all, I'm sure. Right? So.
Yeah, Jeff was around for basically like the first like half or so of the second leg. Came out here because shout out won an award at Series Fest, which is huge, amazing.
Proud supporter.
We're so proud.
Indian, proud supporter. Happy to say that I'm not a rich man, but happy to say that I supported my friends in meaningful work on that one.
Hundo.
You find if your friends are doing something cool, try to support them.
Yes, support your friends in the arts.
You don't
I don't know who
Jeff
needs to
Bezos to help your friends who are trying to do art stuff.
Buy your friend's poetry book. Buy your friend's CD. Come on.
So easy. We don't do ads here, but come on.
Yeah, support local art. That's the ad. Yeah, no, 100%. So we had him for about half, and then he came back for the last like few shows at the end. But yeah, I mean, it was wild. A lot of it, I was like interesting because it was the most alone that I'd like been.
Yeah. So here's, can I dig into that? Because so are you that you start off, you're not by yourself, right?
Yeah, when we like started off the entire tour for the West Coast, we had kind of a group of homies that were on tour with us, and then we would have local people.
See, that seems much less. I mean, the whole thing is very terrifying to begin with. Like, I'm going on the road and trying to make this happen and raise money and not only break even, but make it a net benefit for other people too.
Yeah.
And at least I've got this little enclave of people that are also doing it with me.
Right. And so I had to lose them. But like, for the most part, it was like, no, but I mean, it's like, it's just real. You know what I mean? When you're like, I can only take so much time off work, or I can only travel so much, or like, whatever. And all of that's super reasonable. So like, love all of those people, would 100% work with all of those people again. And then this last leg on the East Coast, it was basically just me, and then we would kind of pick up people.
My name is Ren, and now I'm all alone.
That's right. That's literally how I felt in New Jersey. I like shaved my head. I had a whole Britney
on
moment.
The turnpike, like goddamn.
Literal, not me listening to Stonewall Jackson, like chain smoking on my way, like through Kentucky in the middle of the night. Yeah, that's how we got through it. So it was still good, and we got to highlight like more trans performers each stop. So we would have like kind of the same folks would do like multiple shows around kind of Massachusetts, or we had like a couple homies do like DC and Richmond and Baltimore, and you know what I mean, because it's like in the same kind of vicinity. So we would have people that would pick up for shows and kind of hang out. Is
it the tri-state area? They call it the triangle. Is that the DC, Richmond? What are you talking referencing?
Yes, the DC, Maryland, Virginia, DMV. Yes.
You gotta know this stuff. What is the DMV, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The DMZ.
The DMZ.
No. Different place.
That is how...
It's a different parallel, Sam.
That is how most of the roads feel on the way to DC.
Yeah, do they still have like stuff blocked off and all that out there?
Like it was getting around was interesting because most of all, like, I don't know. I definitely believe in global warming a lot more now. We encountered so many flooded roads. Like it was like and you're looking at it like football fields of water in front of like what should be a highway,
because you went through the part of the country that had been ravaged by that horrible hurricanes, right?
Yeah. So there was a lot of flooding in Oklahoma and Tennessee. There was a lot of flooding all up in my hometown and in Virginia, West Virginia area, and I also got flooded off the highway on my way to Boston as well, and I was just like, okay, that's a theme.
Wow.
But so that was like most of the kind of like road closures that I would encounter. But
so
yeah,
you're knocking on the DOT's door. You're like, come on. How much money we need to spend in gas taxes?
I need y'all to fill your potholes. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, Baltimore has an excuse. Y'all don't have an excuse for your potholes. Like, come on.
Preach.
All of Ohio. Yeah. No, but big fan of truckers as well. Huge. I mean, like, I'll keep a lot of the same hours as truckers, because you're like traveling a lot in the middle of the night. And homies are always so pleasant.
Yeah,
they'll just like open the door for you and like just be like, how you doing? You be staying safe out there, you know, just like checking in with you as you're like both like checking out with your 2 energy drinks at like the travel pilot or whatever.
Yeah.
And no,
it's like a little mini community in itself.
Yeah, and they like seem to like very much take care of each other. I don't know, it's very sweet. So
because they're sucking each other off in the parking lot every once in a while, right?
I know, right? I was gonna say.
Per capita.
Did you know the T in the LGBT?
It stands for trucker.
Actually stands for trucker.
Long haul, not short.
I got the freight line of people. Yeah. So that was definitely a cool one. Cool kind of like piece of it was getting to witness truckers in their natural habitats being just kind of endlessly wholesome, oddly enough. I don't think that like that tracks with a lot of stereotypes about truckers, but they're all just like lovely.
Yeah, that is so funny that they do not get that rap in the general media consumption populace.
No, they really
you think of them as like, you know, beating down the door of a stall to like, you know, hurt someone or something, and it's like, and they're probably, you know, stopping that kind of thing from happening.
Truckers are like, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, like a lot of the time, and I'm just like, and it's like I don't know, nothing like.
Well, when you're carrying a lot, Ren. Come on.
When you're carrying a lot. No, nothing butters me up more. Nothing butters me more.
We'll
just go with that. Nothing butters me up more than like a kind of like a rough and tumble, like hard worker that is like polite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like the external doesn't necessarily match the soft internal type of a thing. Yeah. The contrasting vibe. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So that was all really fun and good. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm like trying to think of like crazy stuff that happened. There was just a lot of like serendipitous moments throughout everything. Like I got to do a show in Provincetown, Massachusetts, which is like so you know how Massachusetts has that little like hook at the end, so it's the very tip of the hook, so it's like the most Massachusetts, you know what I mean, that's like the furthest into Massachusetts you could possibly get. And like,
is that where they got the stone? I don't know, the Plymouth Rock.
I don't know, but they definitely are like, we were definitely before Plymouth. They definitely have that vibe. Apparently one of the gayest towns in America.
Really?
I had no idea.
Well, it's the tip.
P-Town, indeed. It is the tip.
Well, isn't Key West pretty gay, too?
Key West is pretty gay. This was, in my opinion, gayer. This felt like a town built by gay people.
Has anyone ever done a study on that? Like the diaspora of gay distribution through location? I know. I feel like we have a lot of that in like cities that we like know of, where we're like, and then all the gays went to San Francisco and all the gays went to New York. You know what I mean? But I'm curious about like the gay towns. Well, and then the gay dudes typically root out the neighborhood that they're gonna like transform or revive or just take over, whatever, and then turn it fabulous. And then it's an awesome. You typically, in most cities, it's typically a great neighborhood. It's true. It's the unfortunate part of gentrification is that, like, well, I mean, I don't know. Gays are going to do it better. What do we got here? ChatGPT telling us metro areas with most U.S. cities: San Francisco, Seattle, Atlanta, the most gay. Minneapolis, Boston, Denver. There we are. Number 6, baby. And then other cities. Shout out. New York, not even. I like that we beat Portland. Actually, we don't. You see that? No, do we not? That's what's weird. Well, I see. I see. It's all Wikipedia too. So Salt Lake City. Wow, interesting. Dallas, New York, obviously. Yeah. Scroll down. What else is it telling me? West Hollywood. Global cities. Oh, what's it say there? Buenos Aires, Bangkok, Dublin. I feel like I'm doing like a go up. Test. Read the top right under global cities. Tel Aviv. 25%. What are all the queers doing? Go back to USA. Go on to what was ours? We don't even have one that's near 25%. Hang on. So Tel Aviv, Israel. Let me just stop here for. I feel like this is a funny aside.
That's an alarming.
Why was that not at the top, Chad GPT? Why don't you tell me the Tel Aviv thing first? Rio de Janeiro. Wild. That's also higher than anywhere in the U.S. too, right?
Also, yeah, I was gonna say like Brazil.
They definitely like to get down and party down.
I like that they just have a bullet point that's like, and most of Brazil. They're like, and every single major city in Brazil. That's really funny.
That's crazy that Tel Aviv is so much higher than anywhere else. West Hollywood is 40%. Tel Aviv's 25%. That's not that much lower.
It's not.
So Tel Aviv is the West Hollywood of the West Bank, or
it's the West Hollywood of the world, apparently.
My goodness. Okay, good to know.
Okay,
thanks, ChatGPT. And to think that this thing is sponsored by Tel Aviv. I don't know. It's basically owned by Tel Aviv, this thing.
ChatGPT, are you? It's like Pride Month.
Yeah, ask it what it thinks of Pride Month. ChatGPT. It's not
ChatGPT. What do you think of Pride Month?
Oh, hang on. Ask it which brand is having the best Pride Month selection of merchandise this year.
Ooh.
I want to know what it thinks.
I always like to say that my favorite rendition of rainbow capitalism is T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
Because they are just a bright pink sex dungeon every single day of the year.
Yes.
24/7, 365.
They keep it real. Yeah. Watch company.
Pride Month.
Yes, we understand.
They're like, here is a brief synopsis of what Pride Month is.
We should have said we're in Boulder.
My take on Pride Month.
Oh.
I like that it's like
Levi's. See these
Zenny Optical. Zenny Optical is number one.
See, I almost think if you cross-reference these with the ownership,
proceeds go to it gets better project. Oh, that's really cool.
That is cool.
Rainbow collection. People do love their rainbows.
It gets better project is like a really good foundation.
Levi's Skull Candy.
We're talking about like where the deals at.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah.
It's like good causes and everything.
It's like these guys are really.
Ask it for Pride deals in Tel Aviv, then it'll give us. No, don't ask it that. It's fine. They won't know.
JanSport also appreciate because they are indeed like kind of a queer brand. I feel like I see a lot of lesbians like repping JanSport.
Trust.
You know what I mean?
One of my lesbian coworkers was telling me how pissed she was about Target's Pride selection this year, which is kind of why I thought of this question.
Oh, is it mid?
Oh, I haven't seen it. Lower than mid. And they had like little birds that were like... She was like representative of different couples of different like LGBT oriented, and of course the birds are like you get one bird that's like the hat wearing girl bird, and then the other bird's really? Like it's like really like this is come on, like that's
amazing.
A swing. It's honestly, a swing.
That's so funny.
To really like
I love that.
Yeah, and then one of them has a U-Haul, no joke, like a little U-Haul. Like one of the birds is on the girly bird is on top of the U-Haul asking the other
I know
bird.
What I'm doing after this. I'm going straight to Target, baby. I'm buying a little Angry Birds U-Haul lesbian
universe
plush. Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, that's amazing.
It's like what do they put out around Christmas? The when they've got the figurines at grandma's house.
Yeah.
And baby Jesus in the manger. What's that called?
A nativity scene?
Thank you. They put out the nativity scene or the Christmas village. If you're not, of a faith, whatever.
The Christmas village.
Yeah, this is like that, but for your lesbian for your Pride Month selection, you just put out little themed birds.
Yeah, happy Pride. Are you doing anything to celebrate Pride?
No, we should be doing something.
I can't.
Hateful.
Like you're here.
Yes,
you're like,
I like
we,
to treat
support
the same pride for my love of those communities in June as I do the rest of the months. I should probably put a little more effort in June, just really ramp it into
I don't
10.
know. I mean, I work a bunch during Pride, like, because my job is like also queer activism-y, and so I would like this is like my least favorite time of the entire year. I hate it because that's just so busy on like all fronts. Like everything is just constantly go. So it's like, and it's Pride Month and everybody's doing something, and I am working 23 days straight. Like, okay, cool.
Sprint.
Literally, yeah. So I'm just kind of like, I don't do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I have like one Pride Month like tradition, which is that there's at least one night during the month that I find that I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna dress like a slut and I'm gonna dance like a slut and I'm gonna have a gay old slutty time. And
isn't that what Pride is supposed to be?
That's what to me that's pride. To me, that's Pride.
You know, a rational observer, if you put them on a bench and had to make them watch a parade, they'd be like, that's what they're doing. Seems like trying to have a nice time.
Yeah. So I don't know. Go out and go. Moral of the story: support.
So did you actually
support Pride?
So you had a good Pride then on Saturday then. You were celebrating. Sounds like you were out having a good time. I was going to say, what'd you do? Just dancing around, being a general slut. Sounded like slutting up him and the beers.
I hear that's the best way to celebrate Pride, actually. So
you were out with the boys, right?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty gay.
Yeah, there was energy everywhere.
Yeah, dude. Can we sidestep how nice that is? Can we just take a minute here? Is it not nice? Get a little of that in your life every once in a while?
Yeah, for sure.
You go out with the boys?
Yeah,
a little homoerotic energy?
Yeah, for sure. A little homoerotic.
Don't you think we'd be able to conquer nations if we were still having a little more of that? You know, they tamp that down real hard, that homoerotic energy. It might unlock something in us that we're not supposed to have too much access to, folks.
It's like funny because it's like, you know how that's such a bro thing? It's like dudes will be like obsessed with like Greek, Roman history.
Sure.
And or World War II. And I'm like, both of those things, very, very gay. And that's like the one part of them that they're just like, I don't know nothing about that, you know? I don't know about that. I can literally tell you who killed Agamemnon in 711 BC, but I don't know. Doing gay stuff, bathhouse. I don't know.
He
What's
wasn't
that?
Gay, this Maggie.
Gay. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny how people. Well, I see that on both sides. Having been someone that gets into deeper conversations with people that are way over here and way over here,
mm-hmm.
I see that all the time in people. It's like, oh, you have this deep perspective and meaningful, passionful thing, and then you willingly just have this big blind spot of that view.
Not that
Not that part.
Yeah, literally that.
Like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whatever, but cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's just silly, but it's a human characteristic.
It is. It's true. No, and I mean, like, I think that's like kind of the message, like on tour as well. Like, it's like at the end, I like do a little heartfelt, and I will usually cry because I love to cry, and also
it's a show, folks. That's
a show, and also like but I really do friggin' mean it, like every time, and because like after like you put on this thing, it's like so much energy, and like I just was up there giggling for like 20-30 minutes or something, and so you just feel so connected with that crowd, and I'm just so deeply sleep deprived that it's just the tears come easy. But no, that's like the message isn't like just like, don't give up or like keep fighting or like, like it is that, but it's more over like, hey, like don't give up on all these folks. Like there's a lot more loving people out there than like we're actually thinking, and like we kind of owe it to them to try to have a conversation with some like humor and some compassion, because like we can have tough conversations and we can like also be able to hash out different disagreements or viewpoints, but like we have to be doing it and kind of
it's so much harder
way that's
to
not
do
just
it.
hateful,
and it's so much harder to push into the uncomfortability of the, hey, I don't really understand you maybe as much, but like I want to, or I want to joke to try to get understanding. Like, can you meet me halfway, kind of a thing.
Meet halfway. That's really that's really it. And like I'm just seeing it really work on folks, and I'm seeing like it's interesting because the queer community is so like tense and like hurt and upset for how many hundreds of reasons right now, but there's like that definite that sense of like kind of just being on edge, and so it makes it really hard to not have that hurt kind of backlash out at people, that it's like, I don't know, like maybe us calling them names and just telling them that they're awful people is shockingly not going to get us anywhere further than it already has. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a different approach here. And it's like, it's working. It's been nice. It's been like cool to kind of get to like have that conversation with my like queers, to be like, listen, like if we're not going to like put our hand out and try to like have someone, you know what I mean? If we're not going to put our hand out to somebody else, how are they going to take it? And how are they going to walk with us and like actually
besides like we really want some progress in the end here, right? We're all really care about this thing.
Yeah.
Like let's not let it fall from
go. Yeah. And so that's been interesting. And yeah, definitely. This country is just massive and it's just beautiful. And so it's like really interesting to be like, okay, like I'm quite patriotic at this point in like the tour,
so
which is really
wow.
which is really interesting because like at the exact moment that this country is just like, oh, we hate very specifically your kind of people, you know what I mean? Like that is an institution that I don't actually think is representative of what a lot of the larger population is doing, which is kind of actually living with a like larger cultural acceptance. And
completely agree.
And there's like these, kind of hang-ups along the way, right? Like terrible things happen, and there's like the violence is real, and like the legislative attacks are really impactful, right? But at the same time, it's like
we never hear the news. How about this?
Yeah,
we don't hear that like the part of the news that I had growing up where it was like the last story where it was the feel good thing. Like there's not any feel good thing reporting news around these important issues. It's just we're getting beaten over and killed and fucked over in the legislature, and they're coming for our lives and our bodies and our freedoms.
Yep.
And it's like, this is all you're hearing all the time. How can you not be terrified of these people when you come across them?
It's intoxicating, like literally. And so it's like, it was just really strange because it's like every day I'm like, doing these shows, and I'm in community with a lot of queer people. Like we would have a couple shows that were like a little bit more of a mixed bag, but for the most part we're pulling queers, and like everyone would just be so sad and exhausted and tired and just burnt out and like terrified, and like I'm kind of like bopping around at the same time, and everyone has this perception that everyone is like so hateful. Everyone has the perception that it's like that, like it's not just the government trying to get us. It's like people voted for this, and so most of the country wants this. It's
people on the streets living their lives in hate every day.
Yeah,
that's the message they're being taught. Yeah,
exactly. And it's just like I mean, obviously, I know that I'm like walking through it as like a kind of a white guy, So there's that for sure. But I don't know, man. Like I've been around a lot of folks now, and like a lot of folks are a lot more open-minded and open-hearted than I think that we're willing to give them credit for. And I will take that friggin' shred of hope.
That's what's going to save the country, like, I think, truly. Like when people are asking me that tough question recently, like where do we go from here? Where does it get better? It's like, I think it gets better with like people having to come to some middle ground of like, hey, I'm ignorant on some stuff, you're ignorant on some stuff, but like these people are fucking us both over.
Yeah, 100%. And like just I think that like overall I'm like seeing everybody just like trying to kind of do their best, and like even if it's not my best, or my best isn't their best, or like whatever, like when I get mad with someone, when I get upset or I feel hurt by someone, I feel like it's because I lose sight of that like I'm like, they could be doing better. They could be doing better for themselves or by me or to that other person or whatever. But like seeing a little bit more behind the curtain with folks on this tour, and like seeing people certainly in stressful moments, or really exciting moments, or really like kind of vulnerable moments, right? On stage, getting ready for a show, during the break, during a breakdown, after a night of you're not sleeping, shows back to back, whatever. It's interesting. Sometimes I've been like proven wrong, where I'll be like, this person's like, kind of being like frustrating, or like this venue's being whatever. And like, I'd be frustrated, but like trying to not show it. And then I'd like see them in a vulnerable moment and realize, oh wow, they really are just doing like their best with what they have in that moment. And what they have is like not a lot because they're going through a thing. And like, that's on me, you know what I mean? That I'm not seeing the full picture to then be able to trust that they're doing their best. And so even with people that I don't agree with, that are like doing really hateful things, like
trying to put yourself in their shoes.
Kind of trying to think like maybe they're doing the best with what they have right now. And even if I disagree with what that best looks like, I can at least kind of like come from a place of greater patience with people.
Yeah, God, that's a great way to put it. Because when I'm punching at you, I don't even think about how many other punches you might be taking.
Yeah.
Because I'm just worried about punching at you.
Yeah, or the pressures of like your family to be saying things, or the pressure of your partner to maybe think a certain way.
Yeah, not necessarily physical punches. Like God.
Yeah, or like the, like maybe your community is like the church and they say these things and you don't necessarily agree with it, but like you're kind of in that situation and like maybe you really believe that stuff and you really think that you're doing your best, and like that I don't know, our commander in chief is going to make life better for you. And like, I don't know. There was something that hit me, which was like, I heard some folks during one of the like flood, we were in like a flooded area in like kind of Oklahoma. And like someone was talking about, having lived in New Orleans and like being down. Yeah. And they were like, and talking about like the bad weather, you know, in like hurricane season. And it was like really interesting because they were like, yeah, you can get mad at like the tourists or like the new people that move here and don't know what a hurricane is. At the end of the day, they're now community and we're all in the hurricane together. It doesn't matter if you're like, you know what I mean? Like we're still in it. And I feel like that's like what's happening politically.
Yeah,
I'm like, there's people that know that we are in a hurricane and there are people that are just like, you're stupid. Skies are like that. And then like, they're still going to get fucked over too.
What
right?
do you mean? It's always been storming on both sides.
Literally, right. And so I'm just kind of like, oh, that's real, right? And that doesn't make like me being on my high horse being like, I told you so, like might feel good for a second, but at the end of the day, it's like we still need to survive this hurricane together. Even if I think that you're a stupid idiot who was mean to me earlier, like your house is still getting hit by this hurricane too, right? And so like I think that like, I don't know, it's really shifted how I've felt about things like politically and also about like the level of like, I don't know, like kind of anger and like mistrust and like this sense of being wronged by the country. Like that's still happening. That's still real. But like, I also think maybe people are doing their best and perhaps like they have been misguided to like think that their best is something that looks different from mine.
Wow, that is a extremely generous lens. I wish more people took that kind of generous lens towards the situation.
Also, like, what are you gonna do? You know, at a certain point, I'm just kind of like, we have to come up with some sort of analogy around it, right? Because I'm like,
that's quite good. That's alchemist level craftsmanship there. My goodness.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like,
I just see a lot of flames, Ren. I just see a lot of.
You're like, everything is fine. This is fine. Yeah, but I don't know. It's like nice too because it feels cool to be like on the road as a comedian during like a tough moment right now because like
you need comedy.
Yeah, like it's like comedy. Oh my god, right? I'm just kind of like, oh my god, this is like a national crisis in like a comedy world. People are so excited to come out and laugh at a show. They're like, I haven't laughed at this hard in months. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's really like a wanted service.
You feel that like I needed this laughs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like for sure. And it's been really cool to like kind of get those from other performers,
well, especially when you're talking about like how much you're getting to see firsthand the weight that people are carrying with them going through their life circumstance and their identity and the world circumstance around them. And then to see that them able to release together, gosh, I'd be crying at the end of every show too, man.
It's so cool to like watch it happen because like you're like it's like happening before your eyes and you're like, oh, that's like so magical. There was like two shows that like really like stuck out to me that way, and that was Seattle, which makes sense. Seattle's like really gay, and I love that place. And there were like two homies right at the front. And they were a cute little trans couple, a little T for T couple. And so they're like two like trans dudes that were like, I believe dating or something. And they were just like kind of on each other. And like one of them had the arm of the other one. And like then one of them laid their like head on the other one. And I just saw them like laugh and like they were just so relaxed. And like just laughing and chilling out. And like we had just come from driving through like Montana, which was a little like not necessarily sketchy, but like we were not comfortable. And so it's just so like we were like, oh, okay, we can like take a breath and like I don't know. I like had to like take a moment because I was just like, oh, look at them. They're so like cute, you know, and that was really cool. And then similarly, New York, interestingly, because it's already a really gay place and they have a bunch of queer comedy. But when we got in that room, the doors shut. It was like a pretty full room, and like it was a lot of activists. It was a lot of people because I was like a lot of my reach out is like I'm like every P flag in the state, every single support group, every blah 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 blah. So it was a lot of those people would like come out that like work in that industry, and so yeah, a lot of advocates, a lot of activists, a lot of kind of like you know pro bono lawyer type people, right? And they all just like
good place to get hit by a car,
right? For compensation, dial 222. Yeah, it was so nice. It was so, and I don't know, you could just see weight like lift off people's shoulders, and like they just like relaxed into it. And like someone else like told me that they like commented that to me, that they were like, do you see how like everybody
like
just
floating.
like yeah, and I was like, I know, like it was just that was like magical. So I don't know, I love comedy's still magic. Comedy is just magic to me. I love it.
It's still magic.
Still
folks.
magic.
Well, we're gonna find out if these wings are still magic.
Oh my god, is it wing time?
It's wing time.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
And we still have our same signature station identification. You're listening to 91.1. Oh shit, was that another plane? We'll be right back. We're back. We're live. It's the After Hours show, and our bellies are full.
Ooh.
How do we, just like you remembered? Just like you remembered.
They weren't like I remember. They were better. This time they had a little bit of a spicier edge on like the rub, and I learned from my mistake last time because I'm a spice fiend, and so I was like, and I went in hard on like the hot sauce today, and they were so good. They were so good. Clean them wings. I mean, I think they're probably the best wings I've ever had in my life. I like mean that genuinely. Like they're like when I try to think of another like next best wing, I'm like, I don't have anything that comes as close.
Dang, dude. That's a lot to live up. That's a reason to not stop podcasting.
Best wings in the USA.
Just like that. Like, well, my buddy thinks my wings are the best, so I got to keep doing the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
You just can't die now.
Well, I guess you just can't die. You got to keep making these wings. I like to think that you're just kind of like this like old man. It was just like, all right now, everybody try these drumsticks.
I'd love to stop podcasting, but I got to make the wings everybody likes.
That's right.
I mean,
Peepaw's old secret wings.
don't go down that street, kids. The old man will make you wings.
I'm so excited to be an old man.
Oh.
I like, is that weird? I feel like it's like every generation before me I've seen like freak out about getting older, and like I feel like millennials and Gen Z are like the first generations that I see that are kind of like they're like into it. They're like about it. I'm like, I know, like I also have friends that are just like, yo, I'm like gonna be the best old person. I'm so excited to like sit on my lawn and be like, do you want some lemonade? Like I'm like so ready. I like love meeting like an adorable older man who's just like they're just like a precious peepaw kind of guy. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're wearing some kind of funky pattern or print. They have a neat hat and a mustache.
Yes.
They're walking around with a cane, but it's not like weird or creepy. Like they're like, you know what I mean? They're just vibing. They're like so sweet, and they're just like, well, young whippersnapper, back in my day, we were dealing in bricks of cocaine. You know what I mean? And they're just coming out with the craziest stories. Like I want that to be. See,
Sonny,
they
used to call this a Riz cane. Back in my day, all the sweethearts would come up and ask about it.
Oh my god,
handmade. That's right, baby. This is actually my grandfather's. He made this cane. Back in 97. So
oh wow, that's so
cute. It is a back in my day kind of cane.
It is a back in my day kind of cane. It's beautiful.
Priceless. You can't.
Wow.
Don't even offer a price in the comments. You won't be able to afford it.
That's right. Priceless. At MasterCard, do you want to sponsor this? That would be cool. No, yeah, I'm thrilled to be an old man, and I feel like you should carry your deep skill in smoking wings into your old age.
Yeah, old man with a wing cart, little bell on it.
Old man wing
just
cart.
rings down the street. I say, nobody eats his wings. He's sad. Go and eat his wings, kiddos.
He's the wing guy.
He's the wing.
Don't look at him. Make a horror. A24 comes to me and like, hey, we want to make a horror movie about your life. Don't say his name.
It's like but to me, I'm like, it's like the opposite. It's like the to me the bit is like you like keep getting creepier where you're like, do you want to come eat these? How about you come into my shed and do this podcast? And it's like infinitely wholesome. Actually, it's like it keeps getting more and more menacing seeming, and you like turn around and you're just like, it's just some sugar cookies. Like
you think you're getting like deeper into like the Saw thing, and then it's like, let me give you some life advice and $10,000 to invest in college.
Literally, yeah. I cannot wait to be like the unhinged old man who's just like, they're just like, what didn't you do? And I'm like, oh, well, back in 2025. Like, I'm like,
I made a lot of money. I made my money on Patreon, so I can send you to college. College has long since been defunct, but I'll send you anyway.
back in my day, we laughed at unicorns that were kind of like cardboard cutouts on YouTube. And there were no ads.
The flying objects, well, those were unidentified back then. You just know them as friends. That's your
amazing.
Teacher, your second grade teacher.
I don't know. I keep hearing people be like, how are we going to talk about this time in history? It's just so crazy. And I'm like, this doesn't seem any more like chaotic than learning 20th century history in the early 10s. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember listening to stuff and they were just like, and then all of New York City blacked out.
Yes,
like,
yes.
This doesn't seem actually any more crazy than that. Like, it's different, but I feel like this is on par with like 70s, 80s crazy.
I kind of think maybe the only difference would be that like our actual memory is reduced, and so then 24 hours news cycle allows for a more kind of
breaking news every day.
Yeah, and it allows for more evil maybe to be perpetuated by people with powers and levers over certain peoples and communities. Like, I don't know. That would be my only trying
like
to be
that. You're like, yeah, it's basically the 70s and 80s, but like more evil.
Like, yeah, like,
like one of it was more
yes,
evil.
we're not at war, kind of, but
Aren't
like
we
we
at
send
war
all
with
this
like
money.
28 different places right now?
Yeah, well, we
don't even know how many people we're at war with right now. Like, isn't that so, I don't know. Every time I remember that as a fact, I'm just kind of like, how do you even begin to like deconstruct that?
Yeah, because but it's because you put a few organizations in between you and the war, or a couple, groups or whatnot. It's the degrees of separation where we're like okay ethically with what we're funding with our tax money is kind of laughable. That's the part to me. It's like, oh yeah, like, well, it's not like we're sending, American congressmen over there to kill the kids. It's like, we send our money to these guys, they send to these guys, and then the kids aren't here anymore.
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
okay, well, that's pretty fucked up too,
right.
isn't it? Like,
still bad. Okay, I want to ask you this question because like I've kind of asked it and people think that I'm like joking, but I genuinely don't know. Did we call it Doge? Did he call it Doge after like Doge the dog? Like, was that because he's like internet trolling? Like, was that intentional?
Yes, I think it
had to be intentional.
It would be
right?
hard pressed to come up with an argument that it wasn't.
Department of Governmental Evil or whatever the fuck.
Well,
like,
did you see that bill about stopping congressional trading? And then they called it the Pelosi Act. The politicians and elected leaders of obfuscated whatever. Yeah,
that was petty.
They backdoor into whatever they want to call anything. So yeah, I think Elon Musk was like, yeah, we call it Doge. Like after the meme,
because the internet people
love the meme, call it Doge. Oh, it'll be super funny when it bring comedy back.
Literally. I feel like honestly, so much global harm could have been prevented from Elon Musk if he was just trying at an open mic.
Oh, how about
to do right? Like if Elon Musk just like if he just decided if his muskiness would just try comedy, maybe he wouldn't need to take over the fucking world.
That would be.
If he could just get kind of publicly beat down just a little bit every week, like with other mediocre white men just like him. Like,
wouldn't it be bad though if the richest? You see, like he wouldn't, but like, okay, let's imagine, because comedy's all about connecting with your audience, and I don't think that the richest man on earth is going to be able to connect with audiences.
No, but I would sure like to watch him try.
But let's pretend, just step into a thought experiment. He does the stand-up and he connects with audiences like never before. It's like, how what kind of a monster have we unlocked now? He's the richest man on earth. He's now the funniest man on earth. He's unstoppable then. His autism is now gone.
I don't know. I'm just kind of like,
why is he showing up to the lighthouse with a beaten face?
If Adam Sandler ended up, I think Adam Sandler's a fine person. I don't know. I don't actually know very deeply about him, but love your work, Adam. But like if Adam Sandler turned out to be like the most evil person on the planet and ended up just having the same career that he had, that would be we're fine. You know what? Like everything would be fine, right? But I don't think it's fine with Musk being that way.
Well, so the core of the crux here, I think, then is money and power in politics. Because Elon's new thing is, I'm inspired by the fact that I could be the George Soros of the right.
Right.
It's his new thing. He thinks he can have because he's got the money. He's the capitalist spend of I can spend $100 million on an election is nothing to him. So that's a problem, right?
That's correct.
Because he's reached the scale of money is fake.
That's right.
Amount of money, and then he can buy power and influence.
And that's why I went into comedy, because I wanted to make money.
Yeah. Facts.
That's really,
and win power and influence.
That's right. And it can do all of those things. Because
that's what the media says, is that the comedians are the ones that are shifting elections and controlling narratives. So.
Well, you're on the right line of work then. That's right. I was like, if it does work, then cool. And if it doesn't work, then oh well, we tried.
Ren Q is shaping the 2048 election, folks.
That's right. That's why they won't let us have ads on Meta, actually, is because we could influence the outcome of an election. And quote, I can literally pull it up and like show you. That's like the literal like message that they give us when we like try to run ads about the Here to Be tour. Mm-hmm.
And they said
we can't do it. We do this ad. We do the tour completely like.
So
like,
Mark Zuckerberg,
ads.
I must have like just donned the gold chain before reviewing that, right?
Literally, I'm just kind of. They're like, well, I don't know about this rinky dinky trans show.
Now we made the vibe change. We're not supposed to let this stuff happen anymore.
Right.
Like 3 years ago, they would have been like promoting it.
They would have been like, yeah, stoked to take your money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I can't like prove it either, because they're just like, you need to be like you have to be like an institution because this is so politically charged. And I'm just like, it's just me. It's just me. Like, it's just me.
That seems backwards though. Doesn't that seem like at some point we need to step back and say, hang on. The problems coming from inside the house. The house is any place that we say qualifications, blah, 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 long-standing. I mean, all the mistakes that we made during the COVID pandemic were because we were like, trust the people in power. Like the scientific mistakes were because the people were like, the scientists know better. And we're deciding this. And then we come to discover that some of the scientists might have been bought off or paid off, or bigger powers came into play.
It's almost like Big Tobacco's been doing this for literally
it's exactly like that. It is exactly like that.
Yeah, no, that's
like
super
with
real.
sugar, like how how they changed the food pyramid and the recommendations around fats and sugars and the relationships of a human diet.
Big Wheat was just like, what if we were the base of the pyramid?
I like it if I'm low on that there pyramid. Why don't you take me down 2 or 3 levels there?
Oh man, you remember? I just rewatched "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Oh, it's
so good, such a good, because I've been on an Odyssey kick.
Have you seen that?
Oh, I don't think I have.
You would. It's worth a watch.
So excellent. Also,
it's got George
Clooney at his hottest.
Yeah,
absolutely at his hottest. Salt and pepper. He's like kind of rugged. Oh my god,
we might have some young viewers. Can you give us an overview of what this movie is for Sam and for the younger viewers?
The Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is a retelling of the Odyssey that takes place in kind of antebellum Mississippi, I believe, and we have kind of this ragtag team of escaped prisoners that are searching for a treasure, and the treasure they end up finding is their own musical talent and family.
It's really good.
That was a pretty good synopsis.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
And it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and it's not a musical, but it is musically, like it's like there's music incorporated into it, and that's really fun. And they just get up to shenanigans, like they have to like break a homie out of like a KKK rally, and it's like really it's like quite well done. Yeah, it's really fun. Also a really wonderful hit from that. I'm a Man of Constant Sorrow, which I had on multiple playlists while I was touring around the country.
The story behind that song, I think, is pretty cool too. Something like they recorded that. They were like singing it around like a crew event or something, and then they like incorporated it. They're like, we can like just have it straight up sung by you guys.
Love it.
Like,
so good,
so badass.
Yeah, excellent.
I also love those old timey microphones where they're like in the middle and all. Skinny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'd be cool to have old timey mics for a podcast. Yeah, old timey studio. You have like one modern studio and one like old timey studio.
I love when you get like a mic that like still the joints creak. Don't you love that little squeaky, creaky? I don't know.
We're gonna hang a mic from the ceiling and have it come down for Sam, like Rush Limbaugh style.
That would be fun to have like a button that like lowers like a mic, like you're in like a WWE. Like
bring down the producer microphone. The sound of God.
That would be cute. That would be a cute feature.
Absolutely.
To have. I've only seen
Are we not blanking?
Did we lose it?
Oh, we know we've lost. No, we've lost.
No, I wasn't too. I was
Too enthralled.
too enthralled.
That's okay.
See?
Press it. We'll at least get the
I think I know this now.
good job.
And we're back.
We're back just like that. It's that easy.
Movie magic. Podcast magic.
Podcast magic. Tel Aviv, huh?
I'm still hung up on Tel Aviv being the gayest place in the world.
Can you ask why that is? Is there a reason
Yeah,
for that?
can we ask why? Why is dear ChatGPT? Why is Tel Aviv so gay?
Was it a sanctuary place for gay people at some point?
I mean, I know that like there's a lot of Jewish culture that is very queer friendly. Also, like if you look back at kind of like older Hebrew texts, like they've had third genders for a while. You know what I mean? They're like they've been pretty hip to that. So like I know that that's kind of a thing, but like I don't know. Oh, it's digging. Okay. 1, progressive legal and social landscape. 2, vibrant cultural ecosystem. 3, massive pride celebration. Wow, they got a big pride in Tel Aviv. Who knew? 4, safe refuge. Yep. 5, civic support.
So it's just because all the places around there are absorbently.
Didn't read.
So my take is that the places around there, in comparison, are especially poor towards these communities, and this is especially accepting.
So this is like the New York, West Hollywood, like retreat city.
This is like a West Hollywood surrounded by like 14 Montanas.
Yeah.
Is my.
Yep.
Thanks, ChatGPT. You
ChatGPT.
really didn't say any of that, but
implied.
you helped us there.
Implied.
You're good with scaffolding. We'll build the house here.
God, we've learned so much. Memphis, great.
Well, it makes me
Tel
happy
Aviv,
that
apparently
you've done
also great.
so much traveling, and your perspective on people in the world is just as bright as ever. Like, I truly think that that's a hopeful. I'll carry that forward from now and be more hopeful.
Yeah,
looking at other people.
I'm pleasantly surprised. I really thought it was going to be like a kind of a constant uphill battle, and it's been.
You thought you were going to
great.
be a man of constant sorrow.
That's right. I really did, and it's also on the theme of the Odyssey, and for Oh Brother Where Art Thou is like it's cool. There's like 2 themes in the Odyssey that are both like have been really resonant for me on tour, and that's Nostos, which is I believe the art of like homecoming, and like that's like been neat, and then Xenia, which is the sacred art of guest welcoming. Isn't that cool? And like that's been a thing. Like this whole tour.
Xenia, I want to know.
I think it's Zenia or Xenia. Pardon me.
Man, we're gonna have to put you in typing class.
Mavis Beacon's typing school king. Throwback. Only real ones will know.
This is what we need to study up on. This is what we need for the pod.
Yep. Welcoming the guest, offering food, shelter, protections, gifts. Yeah, it's like a whole thing, and yeah, it's cool because like sometimes like Ulysses and the Odyssey will, or probably not Ulysses, Odysseus and the Odyssey written by Ulysses, will like kind of encounter like foreign people, and sometimes they're like literally atrocious, like the Cyclops that's going to eat you, or sometimes they're like lovely Calypso who's just like stay and like do me and like have some grapes, you know. Yeah, I don't know, it's been really nice because like going around like place to place, like some places are very much that way. Like Boise, Idaho was just like, here's pizza, what else can we do for you, like we love you. Like Provincetown, they were like, we'll put you up, like come out and party, like very, very sweet. So it's been cool to kind of go place to place and see the different ways that people will like kind of do, you know, like we see it in different ways, and we call it different things. Like we call it like Southern hospitality down in certain places, and then like in, you know, other spots they're just like, oh well, we just got to give you a good, like, you know, good homecoming, a good like
right.
welcome to town, whatever, right? And that's been cool. So yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Xenia. Yeah, it's a nice concept. It makes me like.
So you also, as like I see this guest duty,
Indeed.
so you carry Xenia with you on the road as well.
That is the hope, right? Where you try to just be like gracious at receiving and always be like respectful of the space and not overstay your welcome and whatever. And like I think that that's just like I don't know, it's kind of like a lost art in some ways to me, where I'm like, wow, this is such a neat like concept of being like. Yeah, like good for form, right? Like it's like, and it was cool. Like I even got to sleep a night on the AT, on the Appalachian Trail, and like it was just cool. Like I got to like hang out with some hikers, and we like shared some food, shared some stories, shared some snacks. Like it was just like, and like it just felt, I don't know, serendipitous to like come across like a freshwater spring in the middle of the mountains, and there's like people and everybody's just being really chill, and like even though it was like not the same, it was like, oh, this is like part of Xenia to me.
Yeah.
Like this is like part of this experience of being like, I don't know, you can be at home everywhere, and you can also try to like make home everywhere and like share your home with people that are coming from afar.
Gosh, man.
It's neat.
Wise beyond your years, Ren.
Thanks. We were just talking about how, like, dude, I was just like, yeah, those dude bros that are like, so actually back in ancient Greece. And then I was just like, so I've been really into the Odyssey.
Dude bros like me.
Dude bros like me. Like moi. Yeah. Go get you some Xenia in your life.
I'm going to reflect on this and carry some Xenia forward with me.
Mm-hmm. It's nice.
It's nice when you stumble on these things. Like, I feel like I've been skirting around, you know, how to put into words this kind of thing. And it's like,
yeah, it's like a whole,
yeah,
it's a whole like skill. It's a whole art. It's a whole craft. Like it's cool to think about. And
like if I was writing a handbook for like, what is the pod or what do you want to be, or, but you know, whatever, you know, you see like apples, like early, whatever the fuck. It's like Xenia should be an important thing to us.
I feel like it should be in the mission statement, right? Yeah. Like you're like, yes. Ooh, what do we look up? What do we ask?
He said historical examples, please.
Odysseus and the Phoenician. Bingo. Yep.
The Iliad.
Paris of Troy, Diomedes.
He hit all these. He is ChatGPT. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. Diplomacy. Wealthy Greeks. Had Xenia relationships with foreign rulers. What they won't tell you is that just meant they'd offer up their boys.
That's right. They were like, Xenia also means be fucking.
Xenia. I have all these selection of Xenia for you.
It's interesting. It's like kind of navigating queer spaces. Sometimes it does indeed feel that way, where it's like some people will be like quite flirty, and it doesn't necessarily see it's almost like that is an element of their hospitality, if that makes sense.
Yes.
That is like culturally part of the hospitality, is that they're gonna be sweet with you, and they're gonna flirt with you, and they're gonna like want to dance up on you, and they're not trying to be like, they're not even trying to sleep with you. But being flirty is almost like a part of them being like, you're welcome in part of this group. And that's been really interesting, because like I'm not necessarily that way, but I don't know, I enjoy it, I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm just like, this is cute.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I hope as the tour continues, you just continue to have more incredible, diverse, awesome experiences with people, and you realize the
Me too.
good in more and more people.
Me too. I'm definitely nervous about this next leg. We're doing the northern states this next leg. Okay. And I'm very partial to like kind of like rowdy southern rooms. And so I'm like, I don't know. How is North Dakota going to like this? I don't know. But, you know, folks are just folks everywhere. So hopefully they dig it.
And you're working with the groups, and you got, you know, the good communities in those areas that are coming out to these shows. So that's, I think, a good foundational bedrock that, you know, like everyone. Comedy
community really like pulled through for the northern leg. Like queer community at down south was like, we're going to hook it up. Like, we got you. We love you. We're a gay bar. We love this, you know, whatever. Northern states are often, we have a lot more like comedy clubs on this next leg, and that's been cool, but it's just different. It's just a different vibe. And like, that's been interesting. Like it was mostly like comedy homies more than like queer homies that helped us hook up the northern leg. Which is great. Shout out to all the people.
Will the show structure change around that much, or no?
No, we kind of pitch the same thing. Sometimes there's like production elements that are different, because they're like, we have to have a sound guy, or we have to have, you know, whatever. And other places are like, well, obviously we have a bartender, it's a bar, you know, and like they're like, we're gonna hire somebody for that. And like there's like some production elements that might be different, but for the most part it's about the same. And yeah, really excited. We have some really great people on this next leg. I get Bailey Pope is going to be hanging out with us for a bunch of the shows. She did, I think, 2 or 3 of the shows on this last leg, and was just like, yo, that was like so fun. I would love to like do more stuff. And I was like, yo, come through. And so I think she's on like basically the whole last leg of August. She's on like the whole last week, which is really cool. So
epic. Yeah.
It's always neat to like get to kind of like find a groove with people, and that people have a fun enough time that they want to do it, keep doing it, even when it's like kind of like, let me do this is like crazy little idea, you know, like.
Well, I'm so happy, dude, having talked to you like, you know, earlier in the journey, and seeing you, you know, from afar on the journey, and then hearing about it, and you know, I continue to be so proud and so happy, and we'll continue to celebrate your successes here at Top Shelf.
Bless. Thanks for having me, fam. Let me come
go
and yammer
out there,
at you.
HereToPtour.com.
That's right.
Follow Ren on Instagram. Where else can people
come hang out? Yeah, it's all at Ren Q Comedy, at Here to Pee on all the socials, all the platforms, and we even have a little newsletter list if you don't trust the algorithm.
It's actually, like, I will say this. Whenever I get to the point that I'm going to do a newsletter, I'm going to ask Ren for some tips, because this is one of the most visually pleasing, easy to read, constructed, well organized. It's insanely good, this newsletter. It's
I'm
not
shocked
overwhelming. I read the whole thing every
So
time,
glad.
the entire thing every time, because it's that good to read. It's that, I mean, most shit that comes in my email, I'm like, get out of here. This
and it's
is
only
like,
positive stuff. We only put positive things in the newsletters. That way, if you click on it, it's not like the world is falling apart now on Apple News. Like, it's literally just like, wow, we beat one bill. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
that's it.
And there's some jokes in there, and it's great. So please just get on that newsletter, go support. And this is something that it's worth donating some money to, because all of it goes to make the thing happen, goes right into those communities' hands. So
thank you. That is one cool point that I'm really stoked on now, is that at this point in the tour we have now donated more money to nonprofits than we have been donated to as a tour. And then on top of that, we've also supported a bunch of queer owned businesses and employed over 80 comedians, and so it's been neat to get basically 10 grand, and we've triple quadrupled that. And been able to kind of put it back out in the community. So that feels really good.
That's incredible.
So thanks for supporting us. Thanks for supporting,
of course,
and helping us get the word out as well.
Of course. Well, I wish I had more of an audience to get out to. And I'm yelling it from the hilltops. It's an important thing. And
yo, fam, if somebody's out there just screaming in the void with me, that's all I can ask for.
I'll tell you what. I got a loud voice and I'm pretty tall, so I'll do what I can.
Bless up.
Much love to you, Ren.
Oh my God, much love, intolerable.
And everything, all good things come in threes, so we'll have you back on that.
Oh my God, we'll have a full tour recap.
Amen. Maybe
then I'll get to tell you about Alaska and Hawaii, and that'll be cool.
Awesome. When is that?
That's at the very end. That's the last show is Hawaii.
That is a beautiful way to close out the tour. I love that.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Wow.
I'm very excited to have after the tour is over, I'm great.
I can't
4
wait
days
to
on
see
the beach.
a picture of your feet up on a beach, and I can send you the cheers emoji and be like, you did it.
Bless, fam. That's the hope.
Go follow him. Go support. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want some more eating with Ren, head over to patreon.com/intolerable. All that money just goes back to feed more fantastic guests in the future.
Nom. That's right.
Fuck off and be well.
Thanks.